The fact that Matt LaFleur called a timeout after, I believe it was a slant play to Romeo Dobbs. He calls a timeout. Why are you doing that? Save your timeout until about the 32nd. We're going to spike the ball regardless. We're probably going to have 40 seconds left. Wait until under 30 seconds, then you call your timeout. And this is where, Brian, coaching. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. As a coach, you need to understand clock management. It doesn't matter who's on the field. If you don't understand clock management, that's on you. You can have Lawrence Taylor, you can have Jerry Rice, you can have Rob Gronkowski as skilled position players. If you don't understand clock management, situational play calling, you're the coach, you're the problem. And that's what happened. Jordan Love was dealing out there. Was there some plays, the run game, the type of runs that he was calling, the inside zone runs, were they bad play calls? Absolutely, because we weren't able to run inside zone effectively for most of the night. So why are you still running inside zone? It makes no sense. And this was egregious in the fourth quarter when he would run it on first down. Why would you waste the down running inside zone when it doesn't work? But back to the final drive, because this is what was most egregious. You call a timeout before you get to under 30 seconds. You're supposed to call a timeout around under 30 seconds, but you call it right when there's like 50 seconds left or close to 50 seconds. It makes absolutely no sense. Just trust your team, let them spike the ball, and we'll see what happens. But no, they don't do that. And then unfortunately, Sean Ryan, the center, he gets hurt. So now 10 seconds are wasted because when you have an injured player, they're going to tax 10 seconds off. 10-second runoff. So then afterwards, I believe we get to the point where, okay, Jordan Love, he attempts that throw, which was one of the best throws I've ever seen Jordan Love make. Like, how the hell was he able to throw the ball in tight coverage through all those defenders accurately to Christian Watson? And Christian Watson, for whatever reason, he thought, hey, let me not try to dive for the ball. Let me just go one hand and I don't know. Because if you watch the film, that throw, that's one of the best throws I've seen by any quarterback. I didn't even need to see the all 22 to know, like, I was like, damn, how was he able to get the throw in that much tight coverage? I didn't even know if it was accurate enough to get to Christian Watson, but I was like, damn, the fact he was able to get through all that congestion to get to even close to Christian Watson is impressive. And Christian Watson, for whatever reason, he just, I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking on that one. But all in all,
I mean, he was the same guy that tried to Superman leap into the end zone and ended up
that was,
fumbling.
bro, even when we were scoring, even when we were doing all the right things, we were trying to cost the game. Remember that one play with the offensive lineman where it was a screen and we gave it to the offensive lineman and he
Yeah,
fumbled the ball?
yeah.
But we got
Why
so
are we
lucky.
doing screens with the offensive lineman anyway?
Bro, he fumbled the ball, but luckily we recovered. And
Yeah,
then the Christian Watson one, where luckily Romeo Dobbs recovered it in the end zone. So it was already like little hints that something ain't right. Like we're trying to lose the game. Like we're scoring, we're putting the beating on the Bears, but like we're
also
still showing a
also
little hint.
the y'all caught was it Valentine that caught the interception where he
Oh
should
my
have put
god,
swatted it and
he
lost
should
30
have
yards of
swatted it
field
down.
position?
Yeah, that was another one. I think we may have, was that the in the first half? I remember
Yeah,
we may have scored that drive. I think we may have
that's
scored that
I can
drive.
look. I can look.
Yeah, go if whatever. I'll still talk,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
throughout the game, we were showing little hints, but we were still able to win and still produce points. But then the second half rolled around, and it was like, oh, okay, so now we're resorting back to just bad tendencies that we've shown throughout the season where we'll look good one half and then the second half rolls around and we look like a completely different football team. And that's exactly what happened. Jordan Love playing sloppy. To sum it all up, Jordan Love played sloppy towards the early part of the third quarter, and then towards the middle to the end, offensive line was starting to really get exposed, not able to protect Jordan Love. There was one play where Emmanuel Wilson, the running back, he didn't even know his assignment on where to block, and all of a sudden there's a free rusher getting to Jordan Love, and then boom, that's how an intentional grounding happened. So stuff like that, where you're like, damn, bro, like, how do you let that happen? It's just simple mental mistakes. But even still, we had the opportunity to win, and we blew it because bad clock management by the head coach. By the head coach. And you still looking that up?
Yeah, it's oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, intercepted, and then it seems like you guys did end it up scoring.
Yeah, we still ended up scoring. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we putting the belt to ass on them, and then the second half rolled around. We just resorted back to the bad tendencies. But
21-6 going into the fourth quarter.
yeah. But I'll let you talk about how did you feel about this game, and then we'll talk about Matt LaFleur a little bit
You know,
later.
I had to the old age is catching up to me, man. I fell asleep at halftime, so I had to
Mhm.
go back and rewatch what happened. And like I said, when we got to start talking about this first, I don't know how you do it, Aaron.
Uh,
That might have been my last straw. If I was a Packers fan, that probably would be my last straw. I'd probably want Matt LaFleur's head on the spike too, and then just for them to come out and be like, "Hey, he's coming back. He ain't going nowhere." Allegedly, things could change in the coming week or days or who knows what. This game, though, it was electric, man. Caleb, the Bears just continue to find ways to pull it out at the very end, and
it's good. It's good
excuse
coaching.
me.
It's good
Yeah,
coaching.
Ben Johnson, man, what a addition. He literally turned this team around in 1 year, and they still have much more room to grow defensively. And Caleb Williams still has a lot of room to grow. One thing about Caleb Williams, I'll say this: he may be like a 70 overall in the pocket, but once he gets out of that pocket, he's like a 95. Because that throw he made on fourth down, that was one of the best throws I've seen in I don't know how long. And it looked casual to him. Like this dude has talent out the wazoo, but man, the Bears are fun to watch. They're just a fun team to watch, and I can respect that through the chaos, through all of that. They get it done. It's a fun thing to watch. Soldier Field was rocking. That atmosphere was crazy, but the Packers. I think the bigger story here is the Packers just collapsing, man. Just
Absolutely.
absolutely folding from defensively, offensively. I'm confused. Y'all had a 21-6 lead. Josh Jacobs only finished with 19 carries. That's interesting. Granted, he wasn't getting that much yardage on runs. He was only averaging 2.9 yards a carry, which is bad. Jordan Love had a heck of a game.
Hell of a game.
Like, he was going crazy, but Matt LaFleur. And I
Yep.
don't know what it is with these Shanahan tree guys with clock management and like game like what's the word I'm looking for? In-game
What?
decision making,
In
like
game.
in situational football. Like
Situational
I don't
play
know.
call.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with them. It's like Sean McVay is starting to break that because that
Cycle.
used to be a thing he struggled with as well. But now it seems like he's starting to get it together. I don't know what's up with them, but they need to get it together because it is ridiculous. And Matt LaFleur, for all the things he does good, how many times are we going to have to see him fold and keep doing the same things that loses games year in, year out, playoffs in, playoffs out, before they actually decide to make a change? I know it's kind of hard to get rid of Malik because, like, who can you really bring in that's going to really fill in those shoes? But at some point, you got to do something. Like, I don't know if you got to hire a dude to be like, hey, you shouldn't do this at this point of the game. Like, you got to give him like a game management assistant or something, because this literally happens every single time in the playoffs. It happened against the 49ers. The year y'all beat the brakes off my Cowboys. It happened against the 49ers where the weather wasn't great. And it happened against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it happened against the I want to say it was a game in 2019 that stood out for some reason. I don't know if that's
they
true
played the 49ers in 2019.
Yeah, so yeah, because they did lose the 49ers both times. Like, yeah, so yeah, I don't know, man. Matt LaFleur he got one more year. If I'm the y'all don't have an owner, so the
If you're the
president, is that what you
GM,
call it? Or
president,
GM, yeah.
president.
He got one more season. If you get to the playoffs and do the same crap again, we're gonna get you up out of
there. Yeah, you make some interesting points.
Oh, Jeff Hafley, you not off the hook either.
Yeah.
Because the offense spotted you a three possession game, and all you had to do was not give up 20-something points in the fourth quarter. That's all you had to do.
I haven't checked the film on the defense, but some of that I hear is like more so the players, but I have to check the film on the defense. I wasn't able to check the film on the defense, so I can't really say much about Jeff Hafley. All in all, it is still, you're up 21-3. You would hope that the defense would do a better job at holding that lead, but yeah, I can't really speak much on Jeff Hafley.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not going to praise
bring
Jeff
up
Hafley.
Probably the biggest culprit.
Who?
Brandon McManus.
Oh my God, bro. Yeah. But
he left like 7 points on the field.
He did. But the thing is like there's not much you can really do. Like the kicker, he's the kicker, bro. Like there's not much you can really control. He's the guy. He's the guy that you rely on. And if he makes kicks, it is what it is. But my focus is more so on the head coach, because you still could have won the game if you've done a better job at clock management, if you've done a better job at calling plays in critical moments, situational play calling. Instead of running inside zone, run a different type of run play instead of inside zone where you're getting stuffed every time. And that's my whole thing. Like Brandon McManus, yeah, I was pissed off that Brandon McManus missed the extra point. He missed the 2 field goals. It is what it is. Like we can't really do nothing about bad kicking. But what you can control is the other stuff that I mentioned, and that's on the head coach. And that is my main problem with Matt LaFleur. Is that it doesn't matter if they have Micah Parsons, if Tucker Kraft, Devontae Wyatt, if all these guys were healthy. Even if you beat the Bears, who's to say that this situation doesn't transpire against the Seahawks or against the Rams? And that's my whole thing, is that you're trying to win a Super Bowl at the end of the day. It doesn't matter that you don't have guys who are perennial Pro Bowl players, caliber players on your squad. These are the moments that you need to execute if you want to be a Super Bowl caliber team. And Matt LaFleur, so many years, has failed to do that. And I hear this excuse all the time about, oh, this team is young. They're the youngest team in the NFL. But guess what? When they had Aaron Rodgers, when they had Devontae Adams, when they had David Bakhtiari, all of these veteran players, all of these Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber players, what did Matt LaFleur do? Nothing. He had a veteran team. He had a talented roster. He had a lot of expectations. And you know what the excuse was? Oh, he's young. Oh, he's not experienced. Oh, he's only been the coach for so many years. Now we're in year 7, and it's the same crap over and over again. You got a talented quarterback in Jordan Love. And I got to say this right now about Jordan Love. Jordan Love, give him an offensive line, give him a really good offensive line, this guy can win the MVP. I believe in him that much. I think he's a top 5 QB in my opinion. I think everything that he's shown this year leads me to be that he's the guy. He's one of those guys that he can be one of the best QBs in the NFL, one of the 3 best QBs in the NFL, if he has a competent offensive line. he showed itself this game that give him time, give him good play calling, he can go up against the best of them. And the problem is that he has a head coach that one didn't get Matthew Golden, the first round pick, involved until this game. Why couldn't we see this the entire season? Matthew Golden, it's not like he didn't know how to run routes from week one. One of the things that made him great at Texas is because he can separate, he can run routes, he can make contested catches. And we couldn't see that. They couldn't bring him in and get him on the field, get him competent plays called his way where he's running actual routes the entire season. Here's a jet sweep right here. Oh, just run straight. What? It took you until Bo Melton got hurt. It took you until what's his name? Wicks got hurt for you to finally give him more routes than just a go route and a jet sweep. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. This is what I'm talking about. People say, oh, Matt LaFleur, let's keep him for another year. He literally had Matthew Golden, a talented receiver, right there. He could have been the difference for a lot of games, and he just did not put him in positions to succeed until now when he's forced to. Brian, did you not see what I was seeing the entire game? He was cooking dudes. I'm like, damn, bro, that touchdown pass, I believe it was in the fourth quarter. They threw him the ball, and the yak that he was getting, I think he had maybe a 30-yard, either 20 or 30-yard. It was a run after catch. Bro, he was shifty. He was making dudes miss. He made another dude miss for a touchdown. And then there was other plays where he was running real routes and he was cooking the DBs. I'm like, bro, he could do that all along, and you just shelved him. You just shelved him because, oh, we trust Romeo Doubs more. And that's another thing Jordan Love screwed up in this game, because I believe in the fourth quarter, one of the mistakes he made was that he targeted, I believe it was Romeo Doubs for like a touchdown, but it was like tightly covered. But on the other side, Matthew Golden was one-on-one, and he literally had to step on his man for the end zone. If he would have trusted Matthew Golden more, even though Romeo Doubs was having a good game, but Matthew Golden, if you would have trusted him more, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion of, man, the Packers lost again. They blew a game. That's why I can't wait for next year, because
that's the thing that blows my mind. That's the part of the last tidbit. I saw a TikTok, and it was about someone who breaks down film. I don't know if it was Film Watchers or someone else, but he was saying that the Bears strategy went down in the fourth quarter was like, we're up against the clock. So if we're going to let the Packers score or move the ball, then we're going to have to force them to make chunk plays. So we're going to keep Dennis Allen kept sending blitzes. And the best thing Matt LaFleur could dial up was deep shots in that moment. Like, I don't understand. I don't like, usually you throw at the blitz, but all the outside receivers were going just straight down the field. They was either running fade routes or go routes. So I'm like, why? Where are the slants? Where's the stuff over the middle, attacking the weak, the strong side of the blitz where there's less help? I don't know. They blitzed literally the entire drive. Yeah, and when it was 3rd and 15, then no answer.
And just to sum this up, because I don't want to talk too much about Matt LaFleur, but like, here's how I feel about Matt LaFleur. Because before the game, I was thinking, you know what? I wouldn't mind Matt LaFleur getting a short extension. You know what I mean? Because the injuries and stuff, I'm thinking, all right, if we win this game, if we're competitive in this game, I wouldn't mind them giving him another, maybe 2 years to ride it out, to see what he can do with this group of guys. Because you bring in Micah Parsons, you got all this talent, but everybody gets hurt. Let's see what he does with it. But after what I saw this game and how we lost, no, absolutely not. I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. And the only way you can justify keeping him is if you do pretty much just get rid of a lot of the coaches on this coaching staff. The offensive coordinator, I want him gone. The offensive line coach, I want him gone. The special teams coordinator, I want his ass gone. Like, they need to just get rid of a lot of the coaches on that coaching staff and put the power back to the GM instead of the coach. Because you didn't notice, and I didn't notice until I learned this, Matt LaFleur had a lot of say on the coaching staff, on different moves being made. And the GM, he was more so on a reserve role. He's more so looking at, all right, who are we going to draft and etc. Now, I believe the GM needs to get the power back. And Matt LaFleur need to sit his ass down and be grateful that he's still the coach of the Green Bay Packers. If you want to get all this, if we're going to give you all this money, listen here. You need to accept the fact that you're not going to have as much power as you once had. You're going to have to get rid of some of your coaches because you have too much loyalty to some of these damn coaches. You brought in Joe Barry. Everybody knew Joe Barry was a fraud. You brought in Joe Barry. Sean McVay didn't even elevate Joe Barry to a defensive coordinator for a reason, because he knew this guy wasn't meant to be a DC. You brought him in. It's just stuff like that. Rich Bisaccia, the special teams coordinator, we're paying him. He's the highest special teams coordinator in the league, like in terms of salary. He has the highest salary for a special teams coordinator, and he's one of the worst special team coordinators in the league. He should be fired. He should have been gone last year, and you kept him. These are things, and this is why they're going to keep him for another year. He cannot have a lot of power, or I'm going to be pissed.
You know what's
That's
crazy?
how I feel about it.
I think this is something that many people are overlooking about the reason why they're probably going to bring LaFleur back for at least next season, maybe even the season after that, who knows. But it's going to be kind of hard to sell a new coach in a regime. Like, hey, come on in. We ain't got a first round pick for the next 2 years, but hopefully, you can figure it out. Like, I don't know. It's kind of a hard sell for a new coach to come in and be like, oh, dang, I don't got a first this year. Dang, I don't got a first next year either. You're going to have to move some assets. But how many of them players on your team is going for a first round pick?
Shit, I disagree. I think it's pretty easy to convince a guy like Clint Kubiak. Hey, you got an all-world quarterback in Jordan Love. You got this guy, Matthew Golden. Hey, this guy is very talented. What you doing with JSN? Hey, you could do some things with Matthew Golden. Some of the things you're doing with JSN. Oh, Christian Watson. This guy right here is really talented. And also you got Tucker Kraft coming back, Pro Bowl caliber tight end. Oh, you got the defense with Micah Parsons. There's a lot of things you can do that you can convince. Honestly, the Packers have a lot of leverage on who they can hire. And I would go after Clint Kubiak. If they let go of Matt LaFleur, I would go after Clint Kubiak because of what he's done with Sam Darnold, with JSN, and the fact that he has a similar system to Matt LaFleur because he's Shanahan tree. His father is Gary Kubiak, who comes from the Niners and stuff like that. It's a lot of connection. Well, not Niners. I think it's from the Broncos. But yeah, man. But Kyle,
y'all gonna fire Matt LaFleur and bring on Mike LaFleur.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But yeah, that's the only way I could see it. That's the only way I could see it, man. Like, if you fire Matt LaFleur, I will bring in Clint Kubiak. That's the only other guy I will probably trust, because you don't want to be in a situation where the offense dramatically changes. So you want to bring somebody in that has like similar verbiage, similar concept, similar scheme. That way Jordan Love won't be much of an adjustment, but still some tweaks to the offense that will be better for a guy like Matthew Golden, a guy like Tucker Kraft. Some of these guys that you're looking at like, damn, these are talented guys, but for whatever reason, they're being limited because of the offensive scheme from the play caller. So that's where I'm at with it. If it's Matt LaFleur, he has to give up some power. I better see some coaches fired. And that's how I'm looking at it.